Hey guys, how's it going? Slipstream here with some more Overwatch content, and today I'm going to be showing you guys what I do to practice my aim and warm up before playing competitive. It's literally the first thing that I do after I start up the Overwatch game, and it's also the last thing I do before I get offline. I guarantee if you do the same things that I do and what I show you, you will see improvements in your aim. With that being said, let's get into it. Getting it set up is really simple. All you do once you've already started up the game is you just click on training and then go to the practice range and then choose the hero that you want to practice your aim with. Obviously I'm going to use Tracer because that's who I play the most. So the very first drill that I do, I just walk over to the first set of training bots here, and I strafe around them in a semicircle, keeping my crosshair on their head as much as I possibly can. What this is going to do is it's just going to get your aiming warmed up. You're just going to get used to tracking again from whatever you've been doing for the rest of the day, if it's your first time on PC for the day. And just track it as much as you can. Try and keep the crosshair on the head as long as possible. But also at the same time, you want to change it up. You want to switch directions. You want to change the distance you are from the bot. This is going to prevent you from just learning the muscle memory of moving your mouse back and forth a specific distance. Because the last thing you want is just to get in the habit of running circles around someone. Because obviously that's not how it's going to be in a game. This drill is purely just to warm up your tracking for the later drills that you're going to do. But what I like to do, since Tracer is the fastest charging ultimate in the game, is I almost use it as a timer, and I'll just track until I get my first pulse bomb charged up, and then I'll lob it off the side, and then swap drills. And one drill that I like to do specifically for Tracer is stay in the first area that you did the first drill, and while you're tracking and strafing to the side, blink in a direction, and as fast as you can, flick your aim back onto the target. You want to remember to switch it up, blink side to side of course, because that's what you're going to do most of the time. But change the distance that you do it at, change the direction, like blink forward or blink backwards, blink off to the side, diagonally. You want to put yourself in as many different scenarios as you can because you want to be ready for anything in a game, right? At the same time, if there's a specific direction or blink pattern that you're bad at, practice on that because that will help you improve greatly. And after that, you want to go down to the area with the moving bots for your second main drill, where I like to just stand on one piece of the rail and track one of the bots at a time. And just watch them for 2 or 3 passes and then maybe change your location, still aim at the same bot, and just track him once or twice again for a few passes on that, and then swap bots. After you swap, just keep doing the same thing, watching for 2 or 3 passes, and then go to the next one. This is going to help you out because before you were moving and tracking on a stationary bot, and this time you're stationary and you're tracking a moving bot. So this gives you a little bit more variation and gets you ready for both kinds of tracking that you'll be doing when you're playing. So do this drill for all 4 bots and then you're going to move on to the next one. So for the third drill, what you're going to be doing is you're going to combine both of the previous main drills that you've done. One where you were stationary and the bot was moving, one where you were moving and the bot was stationary, and now you're both going to be moving. So what you want to do is just start on one of the bots and follow them around, trying to keep your crosshair on their head as long as possible. Move in circles around them, change it up, walk diagonally, change your distance, but just try and track them as well as you can. And do this for each bot again. Circle them, move around, take your time, wait until you feel like you're confident in your tracking when on a moving target while you're still moving too. And this is going to get you prepared to actually shoot at the bots. Alright, so now the part you've all been waiting for. Yeah, you finally get to shoot a bot. So what you want to do is the same thing that you did in the last drill, just move around, track the targets, but this time just shoot them. For Tracer, you're going to try and kill them in one clip, but at further distances that's going to be a little bit harder. But yeah, just shoot at them, try and kill them as fast as possible, make sure that your tracking is as good as you can, but at the same time, you don't want to stress your shots, right? This is low key, just chill out, you're just working on improving your aim. So again, just change up the distances, change your movement, change which bot you're aiming at, do it on all 4, and do this for a good amount of time. I say 4 to 5 minutes at a time. Now if you're practicing as Tracer or someone else who has a movement ability, you gotta add in one more element, and that's using your movement and then trying to flick back onto the target and still shoot them. Like for Tracer, you'll be tracking a target and then blink towards them or at an angle from them and flick onto them as fast as you can and try and still land all the shots in a clip. Try and get the kill, try and get as many headshots as possible. And do this on all 4 bots again, keep changing it up. You want to blink through them, do 180s, and just keep doing as many angles and as many blink positions as you can, just like before. So just get you more ready for when you're in combat in a game, in a competitive match, blinking around enemies and trying to kill them. It'll help you be way more efficient and get way more kills per game. 2 more things that you really want to practice that are more Tracer specific are meleeing right after a blink and pulse bombing right after a blink. Now these 2 techniques are really helpful because they can help you close that gap really fast and either land that pulse bomb or melee to get the kill. You'll see me practice it a few times throughout the clips, but if you want to get better at this technique, this is the best place to do it before you try and do it in competitive or even quick play. The most important part of this training regimen is making sure that you're playing competitive games. If you're not playing against real players, then you're not going to improve your aim. This is just a great way to warm up and even fine-tune your aim. But if you want to aim better against players, you have to play against players. Surefor himself says the best way to get better aiming is just to play the game. And I'm sure there are lots of aim training guides out there, but if you want to get better at your blanking and aiming, this is probably the best way to do it. These training drills are going to help you the most if you stick to them. I do them each time I log on and each time I log off. And even sometimes if I'm not feeling my aim during the middle of a game, I'll go to this training mode and I'll practice real quick. It might not always be perfect, but if you stick to it and keep trying your best, then you'll see drastic improvements in your aim over time. I know I have, and it's only been over a week. Alright guys, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.